Now we will see the different type of the rocks. The first type of the rock is igneous rocks. And if you talk about the igneous rocks, so first of all, we see the definition, what is the igneous rocks and how they're formed. Igneous rocks they came from the Latin word, and that mean is fire. The igneous word is a Latin word. You can say it is derived from a Latin word, and that means fire. It means that igneous rocks from when some comes from something really hot. And what is that? They're saying that igneous rocks form when hot molten rock crystallized and solidified. Now, if you have a rock and rock is in a molten form, and then it will cool down, and cool down, it will become in the form of crystals. So that is known as igneous rock. So this is called igneous rock. Now we'll see the process in a detail that how they are formed. When molten rock from the crust and the upper mantle cools, igneous rocks are formed. The molten rock is called magma. When the rock in the molten form, in the liquid form, that is known as magma. When it is still in the below the surface, and when it's come out, it's known as lava. For example, this is the earth. And if the molten rock is here, this is the molten rock. So at that time, it's known as magma. But if it will burst the surface and come out, that is known as lava. So this is the main difference between magma. Magma and lava, both are molten rocks. But when it is under the ground, it is known as magma. But when it comes out of the ground, that's known lava. Now here we'll see the detail how they are formed with the help of a diagram. For example, here you can see this is the magma. And this magma, you can see the molten rocks. And when there is a magma down due to high temperature and pressure, it tries to come out. And it doesn't mean that all the magma will come out. Some of the magma, it will cool down here without coming out. Here, this magma will cool down within coming out. And here, some of them, it's come out, then it cool down. If a magma is cooled down in the under the ground or inside the ground, so that rock is an igneous rock, but it's known as intrusive. And when this magma come out in the form of lava, the igneous rock which is formed outside the earth, that is known as extrusive. So this is the main difference between intrusive igneous rocks and extrusive igneous rocks. Both are igneous rocks. But if it is magma is cooled down inside the earth, under the earth, so that is known as intrusive igneous rocks. And if it's come down in the form of lava and then it is cooled down and form a igneous rocks, that rock is known as extrusive igneous rocks. Here the definitions are given. When magma cools above the surface, extrusive, for example, extrusive igneous rocks form. When magma cools down below the surface, intrusive igneous rocks are formed. So this is the main difference between them. So if an exam question comes that what is the difference between the intrusive igneous rocks and extrusive igneous rocks? So I hope you can do this one. Now, if you see the further detail, they're saying magma is found in the outer mantle. If you talk about where exactly the magma is found, it is hot liquid rock that's under pressure from the rock above it. When it is cooled and turned into solid rock, the liquid magma rises to the surface from the volcano and then comes in the form of lava. So here they're just telling the whole process that from where the magma comes, how it's come out, and then how it is formed. So it is like the same thing in detail. The same thing which I explained here in the difference between intrusive and extrusive is the same thing explained here in the form of extrusive rocks and intrusive rocks. So here again you see the extrusive igneous rocks. If the rock cools quickly, only very small crystal can form before the rock becomes solid. And what's the example? That is basalt. If anybody asks you what is the example of extrusive igneous rocks, so you can say basalt. And intrusive, if the magma rises from the mantle into the crust without reaching to the surface of the earth, then the magma cools more slowly. Because when magma comes out of the earth, then it will cool down quickly, and that is extrusive. And here it is slowly. So here, what are the example? Granite. Here, the different type of the igneous rocks are given. So you should keep in mind, because sometimes they will ask the question that write 3 example of igneous rocks. So you can write any one of them. Here again, here it is total as igneous rock without the division of exclusive or inclusive. Inclusive. So here, this is the you can say they are differentiated in intrusive and exclusive. This one. So this is the main. Here is the large grains in intrusive. Here small grains. Example here. These are the example. For intrusive, you have all these 3. For exclusive, you have all these 3. After that, the other one is the sedimentary rocks. The other type of the rock is sedimentary rocks. Now, what happened? How the sedimentary rocks are formed? See the first process. What is the first process? Eroded sediments. For example, if this is the land, the weathering, we studied the weathering. Weathering means that if you have a rock, this rock will break down into small pieces. That is known as weathering. How it will break down? It can break down due to heat. It can break down due to weather, like rain, like snow. Okay, so maybe due to wind. So these rocks, they break down into small pieces, or you can say the small pieces come out from the rock. So this is known as weathering. And when these small rock pieces, they come and move from one place to another, so then is known as eroded or erosion. When they move from one place to another, that's known as erosion. So this is the main difference between weathering and erosion. Weathering means the small parts or small particles are come out from a rock after breaking from due to heat and due to weather conditions. And erosion means those small particles, they move from one place to another. So they're saying that these small particles, they move from one to another with the help of water, with the help of rain, and they start to collect it over each other. And then the more and more layer comes, you can see the diagram too. When the more layer comes here, so they press the downward. And here the more layers, they comes on this one and they press this one, and slowly, slowly, the sedimentary rocks will form. So if you see the name sedimentary, it means it is made by sediments. What are the sediments? They are small rock particles which break down due to weather conditions. So this is the way how the sedimentary rocks are formed. Here, another diagram here, same. First of all, you have erosion. You can see the first one. Erosion means the particles, they move from one place to another. Then you have deposition, mean the particle, they come close to each other, or they, you can say, gathered at one place. That's known as deposition. Compaction, the particles, when they come near to each other, more particles, they will compress them. When they compress them, they are really close to each other and they are symmetric. So they stick with each other. So this is how a sedimentary rock is formed. So if you can here also do in like in a sequence, so you can say erosion, deposition, compaction, and cementation. So by these are the 4 steps by which the sedimentary rocks are formed. And if you see, this is all the same definition and the explanation here, how the rocks are formed. So if you go through this one, so you can easily understand this one. And if any questions, so you can ask me later on if you have time. Now, examples of sedimentary rocks. So these are the example like igneous rocks. We have like basalt, granite. So they have sandstone, shale, limestone. So these are the examples of sedimentary rocks. So you should know their names because sometimes they ask the example in the exam paper. After that, you have the third type that is known as metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks, if you see the details, you will find that metamorphic rocks, they are formed, for example, due to existing ones. For example, here you can see, okay, here they are created from existing rocks. When the heat and pressure or both causes changes in the rock crystals without melting the existing rock. The existing rock is therefore changes in structure, becoming a metamorphic rock. What does it mean? You have a rock already. And if on this rock, if the temperature is increased or the pressure is increased, they will apply the high temperature and pressure under the ground, automatically happen. So that rock will convert into metamorphic rock. And which rock already we studied? We already studied sedimentary rocks and igneous rocks. So it means that these rocks, if you will provide the heat, I'm not saying you provide, it means if they will get the heat and high pressure, so these sedimentary rocks and igneous rocks can be converted into metamorphic rocks. And metamorphic rocks are usually harder than sedimentary rocks. The examples of the metamorphic rocks are the marble and the slate. It means that when you apply a high pressure or when high pressure and temperature applied on sedimentary and igneous rocks, so they can be converted into the metamorphic rock. So here you can see again with the help of a diagram. So you can see that for most metamorphic changes and happen due to elevated mean increase in temperature and pressure. Occur few kilometers below Earth's surface into upper mantle, and where they are found few kilometers in the Earth in the upper mantle. The two locations for metamorphism mean the process in which the metamorphic rocks are, you can say, produced or formed, that's known as metamorphism. Contact, there are two reasons. One is contact, other is regional. Magma introduce rock. Okay, magma comes to the rock and then that rock convert into the metamorphic rock. For example, this is, let's say, this is sedimentary rock, and then lava, or you can say magma, sorry, not lava, magma because under the ground. Magma comes on near on this one, and then due because magma has really high temperature because molten rock and high pressure under the ground. So this sedimentary rocks is formed in here. So this is one way a sedimentary rock, sorry, the metamorphic rock is formed. Number two, the regional. Regional, what do you mean regional? Large areas of the rock are subject to extreme pressure and temperature. So you will find that there is a large area like this one. So they come over each other. They come over each other, and then due to the high pressure, the metamorphic rocks are formed. So there are two ways. Number one is contact, means the magma will come to any sedimentary or igneous rock and convert it into metamorphic rock, or that the big rocks or large areas of rocks, they, due to high pressure, they convert automatically into the metamorphic rock without interaction with the magma. Once again, you can see there is another diagram here. So here you have the lava intrusion can be provide heat, causing metamorphic rock form. You can see here, this is contact morphism. For example, these are the rocks, and this is the magma. So in this way, where they are meeting each other, so here you can find the metamorphic rocks because high pressure and temperature is there. So that's known as contact metamorphosis. Again, another diagram is the same diagram shows that here is the contact.
So can you repeat the last one? I did not get it.
This one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm saying that we are talking about the contact. The another one of the method how the metamorphic rocks are formed, that is contact. Contact means this magma, for example, this is already a rock, this one. But when this magma come into the contact, so here where the high temperature pressure, this rock can convert into metamorphic rock. So this is known as contact metamorphosis. Got it? Okay. Once again, here they have difference between contact and the regional. See here, here there are, you have the rocks, and due to high pressure temperature, no magma here, no magma. But these are the large rocks under each other. So this is a high temperature and pressure. The temperature can be changed and high pressure, the pressure can be high. So then metamorphism can be increased. Sometimes only high pressure can convert the metamorphic, make a metamorphic rock. Sometimes the high temperature can do this one. Sometimes both temperature, high pressure and high temperature, they result into metamorphic rock. So if you see the low temperature and the high pressure, so one is enough. Either temperature should be high or pressure should be high, you can get metamorphism. So no need to be confused that why it is written low temperature. So because in the definition, they have told you that they can be due to high pressure or high temperature or both together. So then metamorphic rocks are formed. So here, if you see this area, you will not find any lava or magma here. So here metamorphic rocks are formed because they are the large rocks. They apply pressure and then the metamorphic rocks are formed. But if you see this diagram, here the magma is there and metamorphic rock which are formed near this one due to this magma. So that process known as contact metamorphism.
Sir, can you repeat again the difference between the regional and the contact metamorphism?
Okay, again, I'm telling you, please try to understand this one. Now, metamorphic rocks. Now you know the metamorphic rocks. What are they are rocks? For example, they are formed from existing rocks. What are existing rocks? We have igneous and we have sedimentary. So sedimentary or igneous rocks, they can convert into metamorphic rock. But for that, what they need? They need high pressure or they need high temperature or they need both of them. High pressure only can make the igneous rock into sediment metamorphic rock, or high temperature can also change a sedimentary or igneous rock into metamorphic rock. So this is the way how the metamorphic rocks are formed. Now we talk about the process. The process how they convert into a metamorphic rock. There are two methods. Number one is known as regional, other is known as contact. What is regional? Regional means you have the high, very large rocks, and due to that large rocks, down you have high pressure or high temperature. And If it is a sedimentary rock here or igneous rock here, due to this high temperature, high pressure, automatically it will convert into metamorphic rock. So this is known as regional metamorphism. But if you will find the magma, here is the magma. This magma apply the heat on nearby rocks because magma is in contact with the rock. And due to the high temperature and pressure of the magma, this rock, which is near to the magma, convert into metamorphic rock. So this process is known as contact metamorphism. Got it?
So still there is some confusion. Can you?
Tell me. No, confusion means, listen, now I'll give you the example. Now, for example, if you want to make, for example, this is the solution. You want to make a solution. Solution of what? You want to make a solution of salt and water. Got it? And you want to make a saturated solution. Saturated solution means that there will be a large amount of solute. One method. What is one method? You will take salt and you will add water here. You will add more salt, dissolve. You will add more salt, dissolve. Then you will bring a spatula. That spatula, you will stir it, all dissolve. Then again more, then stir it, then again dissolve. This is one method. Other method, you bring that water and put it on fire. Got it? And here you add the salt. No need to stir it, just heat it, dissolve, add more, heat, dissolve. So in both ways, here and here, what you are getting? Salt solution. But only the difference is the method preparation. Here you are stirring it and here you are heating it. In the same way here, when the metamorphic rocks are formed, they are formed by two ways. Number one, when magma under the ground come to near to a rock, this rock is also under the ground. This rock can be igneous rock or can be sedimentary rock. But when it's come near to the magma and magma has high temperature, the structure of this rock will change. And from igneous, it will convert into metamorphic. This is number one method. Number two method, that already you have sedimentary rocks here. And with the passage of time, because they are under the ground, high pressure here, and sometimes due to the, because here temperature is low. There's no high temperature, only pressure is high. Due to high pressure, the rocks will change its structure and convert into metamorphic rock. This is another method. Got it now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. These are the examples of the metamorphic minerals, means the examples, you have the talc, you have chlorite, you have epidotes. So these are examples you should know. Then after that, you have the rock cycle. Rock cycle is really easy. Just you have to understand this one. What is the rock cycle? They are saying, for example, you have the magma. Magma is under the ground. When it's come out, it's become lava. And due to that, which rocks are formed? Igneous rocks. If the lava come out, so that rock is igneous rock, but that's known as extrusive. And if the magma cool down inside, that's known as intrusive. So it means magma is converting into igneous rocks. Then these igneous rocks will break down into small pieces, and those pieces will erode from one place. They come together over each other. This is years and years, million years even. So then the rock which is formed, that is sedimentary rock. Then these sedimentary rocks, if it will get the high pressure or it will get high temperature, so they can convert into metamorphic rock. And again, metamorphic rock, if they will get very high temperature, they will melt and they will become magma. So this is how the different type of the rocks they move in a cycle. Again, converted to magma, then again magma in this one. So it is like an ongoing process. Is it clear? The rock cycle. Here they have explained it in a diagram. For example, magma. When magma cool down, crystallize, which rock is made? Igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, they erode, make sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks, first they make sediment. The sediment, they compact, cemented, make sedimentary rocks. And these sedimentary rocks, if they get high temperature and pressure, they become metamorphic rock. And again, metamorphic, if they melt, again, they become magma. And metamorphic rock, again, they can break down into small pieces, into sediments. Again, they can make sediments. So they are interlinked with each other. They are interlinked with each other. So you should check that one. So these are the characteristics. We will start